Aloha, people.
Hey,
Merry Christmas, Adrian, and a warm welcome
oh,
to everybody.
Merry Christmas. Merry
Welcome,
Christmas.
welcome today. Welcome to join
Welcome
us
back,
today. Welcome
everybody.
back. Yeah, we are on the seventh episode today, and it's gonna be a tough one. It's gonna be a very, very
Yeah,
interesting topic today. In the past
yeah,
calls, we've talked about many other very interesting topics. If you're interested, if you'd like to check them out, just go on the channel. They're all down here. And if you haven't done it already, please subscribe, like Adrian has done years ago. It feels like it's years ago, last year for
yes,
sure.
definitely. Last year
So
for sure, exactly.
so yeah, to start fresh, Adrian's fun fact. Come on.
We're gonna start with something interesting, a little bit, let's say, not too old school, but in the past, in the recent past. Yeah, we're not gonna relate to 2020 because it was and
Interesting
hard
year,
year.
yeah.
Interesting. Let's call it interesting, not even hard. Let's call it interesting. But we're gonna relate a little bit. We're gonna connect a little bit with 2019, and I'm gonna ask you a very simple question: how many people traveled in 2019, roughly, if
How
you
many
can
people
imagine?
traveled? Just that's a very
Yeah.
vague question.
Yes. Yes.
I'm gonna say 500 millions,
Oh, you are not even close, dear friend.
as usual.
That's that's a quarter of it, not even a quarter, even less than that. 1,300 million people they've traveled only in 2019. Let me tell you the fun fact about it. It's supposed to increase all over the world with 4 maybe 5% in 2020. Only in the first part of 2020 it started more than 2019, but then we all know what happened from
Yeah.
the second part of 2020, and that number dropped almost to zero to some months. So imagine that, like over
1 billion
300.
300 millions.
Yeah, can you imagine how many people are traveling and how many people stop traveling? Like, this is unbelievable, unbelievable.
We definitely
Like,
hope that it's gonna go back to these numbers very, very soon.
yeah,
And about this, so
yeah,
today's topic is definitely gonna affect this number, because first of all, we're gonna introduce
yeah.
our special guest. Today's special guest
Please do.
uh, is um, is a very, very interesting, a very strong character, as I would say it, because I've known this person for a few years now, and he lives in the UK. He's Italian. He lives in the UK, and he owns a business in the UK. So he's definitely been affected, unfortunately, this past year, as many other people have been affected, and
As me and you, obviously, as ourselves. Yeah, let's call it like that. Yeah,
sadly, too many people. Yeah.
too many people.
So let's see if he's joining right now, and he's gonna tell us a bit more about himself, and then we're gonna dive straight into today's topic. So today's special guest is Marco, and here he is. Hi,
Yeah.
Marco. Welcome,
Hello,
welcome.
Marco. Welcome.
Hello, everybody. Hello.
We've just introduced you as a very interesting and strong character. Well, I have,
Yeah.
because that's
Yes.
that's that's what I think. In a good way. Of course, always in a good way.
Thank you.
So
Thank you
we
very
haven't
much.
we haven't said much about you, of course. So just to take 1 or 2 minutes to talk to us a little bit about yourself.
Well, first of all, my daughter uses this computer usually, and she's put an effect on my lips. They go red, and I don't know how to take it off. So you probably see me with a red lipstick, and
Yeah.
trying to work out that it doesn't go away.
It it matches with your glasses. Don't worry about it. Everything is
Thank you
gonna be
very
fine.
much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So my name is Marco, and I live in a beautiful little town in Yorkshire, a place called Hebden Bridge. Claudio knows it really well because he used to live here, and I was lucky enough to bump into this place 10 years ago when I decided to leave my customer care a job in Italy to start a new adventure in England, because my life in Italy can be quite difficult if you haven't got a good background, a family support and stuff. So we decided to move my little family up here. And for a case, I bumped into Hebden Bridge, which is a lovely little English town, but a bit peculiar because it has a very strange history, a background of, it used to be the town that produced the most number of trousers in the world at one point.
Wow.
And then everything sort of collapsed because manufacturing moved all to the east. This became a ghost town, and until a bunch of hippie came up and repopulated this town. And I found a little Italian cafe that was a bit tired, and someone wanted to sell it, and I fell in love with it straight away. I didn't have any money at all to buy it, but I bluffed and I said, I'll buy it. And 10 years ago, I crowdfunded with my friends, with all my Facebook friends. And within 2 weeks, I managed to find all the money I needed and started this beautiful dream that is still working. And so I'm very happy that it's turned out really well. And I love the community where I live in. That's it.
It's amazing. Amazing story. Amazing story.
A lot of people talk about the American dream, but this might just be the English dream right here that you
This-
described.
this is
Funding this buying this place with donations from other people. That's amazing. I didn't know this story. I've been to your place many times, but I didn't know how it started. So that's that's interesting. So. As we said, today's topic is a very, very important topic, especially right now, because we're going to talk about COVID-19, and I thought right away of inviting you to talk about COVID-19 because, of course, you're a business owner, so you've been the way you are affected is much different from the way other people, like employees, are affected by COVID-19. So if I can ask you a very, very vague question, I'd like you to tell us, how it started from the beginning and what it means for a business owner to be affected by something like this, from the beginning, and then how it develops.
Yes. Now, I've got to be clear. I promised I was going to be honest talking about this thing. So being honest means I will tell you exactly how I have lived this situation. Being
Please.
honest means I will not tell you what maybe I should be saying. That is, I think that the most immediate thing is, oh, it's been terrible. It's been a really catastrophic situation. It's been really hard and everything has gone bad. But fortunately, I have to say that my experience in this year has been absolutely, I wouldn't say fantastic, because fantastic is a big word, but I would say extremely positive. And I can explain quite quickly. First of all, positive because, as I said, I've been trading for 10 years, and my little cafe, bistro, pizzeria, call it how you want, has been very, very busy in these 10 years. So, it was push every day, customers and, a lot of demands, and the business has been growing. But so when things started to get complicated in March, and we stopped suddenly serving people, I've got to say that, and this is another issue, politics. In England, the government straight away made it clear that they were going to support businesses. Now, obviously, my little business was doing quite well, but I must say, in terms of taxes, that I was paying, VAT, that was crushing me in terms of staff, and all the amount of expenses. When the cafe closed down and my staff was furloughed, which is the magical word in England, uh, they started getting an 80% of their wages. So my staff was covered. I didn't feel the pressure for them. They were quite happy to stop. Let's stop a bit. We didn't know how long, and because of the way we set up a business, we are a limited company. We are employers of our company, me and my wife, who keeps the admin. We were furloughed as well, so we've been getting paid every month not to do anything. We have, and now this is another issue: rent. Rent is obviously one of the main, if not the main, expense in any business. We have a rent which is quite low, so we managed to to pay the rent every month. We didn't miss anything. Because the government straight away gave us some money, and then we took a loan with a very good interest rate. And now that the situation has been going on, my staff is still furloughed. We have managed to reopen a little bit, but so for me, it's been like a preview of being retired. I've just turned 50, and for 9 months now, I've been working very little. I understand that it's been chaotic in the world, and a lot of people have suffered. But on my point of view, it's been an incredible year in terms of change and opportunity. So I've got to be honest, and for me, COVID was something absolutely positive. Um, well, positive
No,
in
I'll stop you and I'll say that in a way I agree with you, because of course there have been so many mixed reactions, and then people have been affected in different ways. So I've been very like, the way I've lived it is very similar to how you've lived it, because even though of course different situations, different countries, I am employed, but I was very optimistic and very positive, and it didn't affect me in a negative way, fortunately. So I agree with you, and you don't have to apologize for telling the truth, and for saying that it's
Yeah.
been nice for you. And actually it's great to hear something like this, because as you say, everybody you talk to, oh, there is, of course, they're complaining, something is bad is happening, they feel bad, but it's also good to hear that not everybody is like that, and has lived it like that. So thank you once again. So then the question would be, when this is over, let's hope soon, maybe, I don't know,
Yeah, we don't
but
know
let's
yet.
hope soon. What are you going to do? How do you think you're going to react?
Well, we've already started trading in a complete different way. We have we made a special window in our door, and we have a product which is very sellable on a click and collect base. People phone, and they just collect the pizza on the door. So it's difficult in terms of going back as it was, because as I said before, my little place has been hospitality. It's been like a little bit of an oasis. English people, wonderful country and wonderful people, English people, Yorkshire people. But in terms of hospitality, they can be quite abrupt, meaning, what do you want? This is how much it is. Consume and go away. I managed to, always to give a different pace, a different space for people that could come in and just have a coffee and stay there hours. We have a beautiful outside area. So as soon as things going to calm down in terms of COVID, I'm not sure I will be back serving people as it was before, because the takeaway business is going really well, and there is much less pressure. I probably will open up the inside of the cafe to create more food space, so I can create more food, because uh, one of the things I was saying about English people, they did you hear that yesterday they in England they gave a Michelin star to a food machine, vending machine.
Oh, that's very interesting. That's very
It's
interesting.
obviously a joke to say that English people.
Enough said.
So
Yeah,
I'm going to try and widen the menu, but I still will be doing a bit more of a takeaway situation, because uh, it works. It works, and having to deal with people, having to, I grew up in a family where my father was a restaurateur. He had a restaurant in Florence, and then near Milan. Having to deal always with people who are hungry and who always demand, you have to have a vocation, but it wears you out. So I'd rather
so
concentrate more on food aspect.
so
Yes,
Marco, you're trying to say that all this period, all this time with Corona, made you look to hospitality from a different angle, because obviously before you said you had all this hectic area, always busy, constantly growing and keeping the pace, and now uh, focusing on takeaway, and obviously you said hand-on pizza on a shelf or something like that, or on a window, made you look to hospitality in a different way, uh, a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more calm, thinking about, oh, let's focus more on the quality on the product, or maybe just on your quality time, let's say, like that.
exactly. You, Adrian, you point. There is obviously I'm a little player, and hospitality has so many big players around that have structures, that have the possibility of dealing with customers in big environments. And you go to Costa Coffee, you go to Starbucks, you can have a coffee and stay there how long you want. If you have one small room, and you can't put pressure, as I was saying before, because Italians like to give their time and relax, but you also need to to use the table 3 or 4 times during a service. And it's all a question of tricks of looking at people in a certain way, taking away the plate, and asking them, can I get you anything else? Or because you need the table, you need the space, and all this thing takes time. And unless you are in a in a place where you can charge people enough, and you have no economical problems in terms of treating the guest at a maximum experience. If you have a small cafe, it's always running, as you said. And yes, I quality of time for myself, quality of the food, because I've started selling stuff that I couldn't make before, and obviously having children, quality of personal life.
Oh,
So
that's good.
exactly, this I think this virus situation has given us, if you want to look at a global thing, it has given us the chance to to understand that we are going too fast. We are trying always to grow, to produce more. uh, I think unfortunately 90% of the people don't get the message, and they will try and get back, and I have to make more, produce more, but then you crash.
Yeah.
So I don't want to crash. My dad was a restaurateur and died when he was 58, serving 300 people,
Wow.
and I don't want to do that. I want to
Yeah.
cool down. So COVID for me is been it was a good call to slow down.
So then, one thing I want to ask you is that a lot of people, of course, started talking about smart working. Of course, this doesn't really apply to hospitality because it's a different kind of smart working. But I think what you said right now, what you talked about right now, actually could define smart working for hospitality, meaning you are gonna adapt and you know what's best for your business. And if you know that takeaway only could be better for you, then that there's nothing wrong in doing it. Like, you're gonna reduce your service, but you're gonna improve the quality. And if you hear all of the stories that, like, that people things that people talk about, people from hospitality, people from restaurants, there's just complaining. And it's okay to complain, but I always say that you complain, but then also try and find a solution, because complaining alone is not going to get you anywhere. So it looks to me like you found the solution, at least for yourself.
Yes.
And so the only addition that I would like you to make is, what about your customers? How do you think this is going to affect your clientele?
Before the customers, I want to talk about this. Obviously, I think there's going to be less hours to work, because and I have already told them. I said, look, I've managed to redefine. I want to redefine my business model, and I'm sure there won't be as many hours for you guys. And so I have also taken the chance to tell them to invent something for themselves, because one thing is being staff, and one thing is doing the big leap and becoming your own boss. I said, I can assure you an amount, 2-3 days of hard work, of push 3 days a week. The other days you might want to invent something. So I am trying to make my staff become an active part of producing something for themselves, because I like to keep my staff on. I had my staff now works with me for 5-6 years, and in the hospitality, having someone for that long is it's absolutely incredible. So first of all, the staff, I want them to become entrepreneurs, and there are ways, and but the customers are going to have to adapt to the new models. You've lived in this little town, and when I started, I was the only one making pizzas. Now there are 7 joints who make pizza. Pizza is the most famous common food in the world. It beats any other kind of food, and everyone wants to make pizza. Obviously, you have to have some kind of secrets to make it good. So people are going to have to accept my model. I am going to give 100% when I'm there, but instead of 7 days, I might be there only 3 days now, and with a smile. And I'm going to try and make them feel comfortable, even for just a few seconds that they come and pick up the pizza, or in the process of ordering pizzas. The experience can be on social media. you know Social media is important, on the phone, and those brief moments. So I hope they adapt, and if business is not going to work out, I'm just going to have to invent something before I can retire. I'm going to buy myself a little ape car, and I'm going to go and sell panzerotti in my little
Ooh.
truck.
Well, that's interesting. I was just about to ask you something very interesting, because you said it's a small town, and I assume, obviously that's maybe wrong, but I assume pretty much everyone knows your place. Let's be honest. Yeah, everyone knows everyone there.
Yes.
Everyone knows Marcos's place. Yeah, but I want to understand, if you see the customers, if you see the regular customers that are coming, are they a little bit with a question? We should go there. Is everything okay? They are afraid, or they are still trusting you 100%, saying, no, we have to go there. Marco is 100% safe. Everything what he does is out of the world. So
Well, thank you for the question, Adrian. Well, at the moment, there is not much of a safety issue, because people are just coming at the door. So we obviously follow HACCP directives when we prepare food, and so nothing can go wrong. We have some protocols. The boys have to, be absolutely safe, and they have to handle food as before. So if your question is more about, so they come and pick up the pizza at the door. There is nothing. There is no contact. We don't have any kind of problem in that. They don't have to come inside, so they're not
I thought
worried. Some people.
my question was, sorry to interrupt you. My question was more before closing the terraces, like more if they come and they when you have to stay outside, if there is situation, if they are going inside or not, or I'm not keeping up with the regulation in UK, not all of them. So that's why I've asked, maybe you still had the terrace open, you had, I don't know, maximum of 6 people, a table or something like that, or everything was shut down, you are serving only from the window. That's
only through the door. I have my business partner, my wife, is made it clear
then,
from day one.
yeah.
We actually closed in March, and in June we went to Italy for nearly 4 months, because we have a house near the beach, and we found that if you're on a hot beach, it's more easy to avoid the virus, because the virus moves very slowly and you can sort of zigzag. So for 4 months I was in Italy. I came back in October and opened again, and one of my staff fell ill with COVID, so I had to close again. I had to close again for 3 weeks, and it was quite. But as I said, because the government has been paying, paying all the staff, no problem at all. In terms of customers, I'm curious. I think your question is more what will happen when. Because they say, when does a pandemic finish? There's a medical side, and then there is a social side. What stays in people's mind? How are people going to react once we open back? And the interactions. I'm curious to see that, but I think it's going to be a slow thing. That's why the plan is to reopen outside at the back, where we have where we have the river, and slowly get used to having people in contact. But that's not just hospitality, that is people. I'm Italian, Claudio's Italian. I think even in Romania, we kiss everybody, we hug everybody, and we've loved this. It's been a cultural shock for us. And English people, like to take distance. They don't even like shaking hands. So, I guess I'm curious to see what happens in the future.
Yeah, my question was based on, because in my previous experience in Belgium and now in Romania, the wave of COVID brought us somewhere in a place where you cannot sit there because there is a table of 6. Oh, let's stay away from them. So you can see in some places there are 2 categories. On one side, the ones that are afraid, like literally afraid of going outside and even going for a coffee or anything like that. And on the other side, the ones that go without a mask, 6 people, like you said, oh, my friend, I haven't seen you for 3 weeks or for 2 days. Let me kiss you, let me give you a hug. So that's why, because here things in Romania and maybe in like Belgium and other places, they've started reopening, but with some regulations. So I wanted to see if those regulations apply to UK as well, or
UK is in total lockdown at the moment. So, and it's been up in Yorkshire, where I am from, it's been in total lockdown since September. So I understand. Even in Italy, I understand that there are different ways. Some places you can go, some you can't, and I understand. Over in England, you can't go and do anything. So it's quite different, but. Let's see the future, because let's see.
We will see what the future brought us.
Oh, I wanna thank you again for sharing your story with us. It's been really refreshing. After all these months, of hearing all bad and sad stories, it's also good to hear the other side, which is you.
To be positive.
Exactly, and to see how you've adapted, how you're gonna readapt to business after the pandemic is over. Let's hope for everybody soon. So thank you once again. If Adrian doesn't have any more questions, we can.
Thank you so much, Marco. It's been a pleasure to see you and have you here. in our
Thank you.
podcast.
Thank you very much for the opportunity, guys. You're doing a really interesting thing. Well done. Good luck with everything for everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marco. Goodbye, everyone. See you next week.
Ciao, ciao.